Hello and welcome to Teensy Vintage. This is Teresa. We are working in my Square Dilutions journal today, and I'm pulling out some colors that seem soothing and fun to me, and I'm just going to have a good time. I have no idea what I'm about to make, by the way. This is not planned. So we're just going to see what happens. We're going to put out some ink, get a little water going, get a nice round brush, and circle feels good. So we're just going to make a circle. And I'm just going to keep adding colors until I feel happy with the page. So we're going to dry this before we move on to our next color, which is Rustic Wilderness. That first color was Stormy Sky. So yeah, just making little marks. I love mark making. There's something very soothing about just doodling, blah, blah, doodling, making little marks on the page. And yeah, more curves, just whatever feels good, frankly. It's been a week since I've been in the studio, which is way too long. And yeah, I've been very busy prepping for a new collection that I just put out. I will put some links in the description for the Tiny Chipmunk Bladder Club, which is just a silly joke that I have been saying for years, and now I've turned it into a collection of swag, because why not? I've also been trying to figure out which markets I'm going to try to vend with for the holidays. So yeah, lots of things in the pipe. Now we're going to do some stamping, and I've got a Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamp. I believe this is from the Recollections set. And again, everything will be listed in the description. So if you see something and I somehow forgot to put it in the description, just comment and I will happily let you know what it is or where I got it. Yeah, so we're just going to put a few random numbers here and there and get the excess ink off. This is a nice little set of numbers. They're very mid-century styled numbers, which I really like. And these are from Echo Park. I don't know if you can still get this set or not, but in all honesty, getting number stamps is pretty easy. So wherever you get them, you can get a nice set of numbers that will come in handy. When in doubt, stamp a number on it. Why not? So now I'm going to pull out a stamp from Viva Las Vegas, and they sell all their stamps through their own website. But this one I think is just called Crosshatch. I don't know. But it's a nice patterned stamp that it looks good in the background of things. And we'll put it back in its little envelope. I'm also going to make a focal with this stamp, which is it has astrological signs around what looks like the sun, or maybe it's the moon. I can't tell. I also got this stamp from Viva Las Vegas. It's just a really interesting vintage looking stamp. So we're going to use our stamping platform here because I have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to get a complete stamp. So thank goodness for stamping platforms. Still not getting a whole stamp. So the impressions just aren't really working out. Maybe I'm not putting enough pressure on it. And I think actually at that last one I stood up and pressed down, which got the impression I was looking for finally. Takes a lot of upper body strength to craft and make art, y'all. You got to keep your muscles in shape. All right, so now I'm cutting out this stamped image that I've put on the cardstock. And we're just going to set that aside for a sec. But yeah, that just looked really cool. And I wanted to make sure that, I could see all the detail, which is why I didn't stamp it directly on the page. Now I'm going to go look for maybe some die cuts. I had cut out some funky shapes the other day, and I was thinking they were in here with all the other bits and bobs, but I didn't find them. So in a minute, I will look in a different place. But yeah, didn't have any luck in there. So I'm going to pull out a different container, which is actually where I ended up putting the die cuts. Sometimes I just put things in the wrong place, or I put them in a place where it like seems like it's organized, but maybe isn't organized as much as I thought it was. Oy. Either way, gonna find these things eventually. So this is just me looking around my desk going, where the heck did I put these die cuts? So in the meantime, I'm just gonna pull out a new color. This is the one I use here is Ripe Persimmon, and it's a beautiful orange, a little bit on the coral side, I think. So yeah, a nice bright color. I really wanted something that would contrast beautifully with the blue and green that I've got. And so then I'm going to take what's left over and I'm going to go around my page here with the brush again, just using it like a watercolor. If you add water to any of these inks, they will go on your page very nicely with deep color. And the more water you add, the lighter the color will be because you're going to dilute it. So if you want an intense color, either layer or don't add too much water. If you add just a little bit, it helps kind of make it a little more liquid to get on your brush. You've got to add something if you're just using the stamp pad because it just doesn't have enough liquid in it to flow. So now I'm going to dry all of this. Dry the back too because it had started to curl pretty badly. And dab off any excess. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding some water droplets from my sprayer. And that just kind of gives it a little bit of an interesting look. The oxides react well with water. So yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to go back and look for the die cuts one more time. Ah, they are here in this tiny blue box. Then I remembered the other pieces were also a different color blue, which were in the different color blue box. This is how my brain works or doesn't work. I don't know. You decide. But yeah, I've got these funky little die cuts that I cut out not too long ago. And I was like, I need to use these. So I'm going to cut this one in half because I can't get it to show up the way I want if it's all in one piece. And I've cut the other one that looks like kind of a honeycomb pattern. Cut that in half too, just because I wanted to make sure enough of it stuck out from behind our little astrological signs diagram stamp thing to be seen. And we're going to hold our page corners down here. We're going to get out our good friend the gesso and our cosmetic wedge and just kind of go over some of the page to push back anything that's super intense in color because I want the focal point to be a focal point. I don't want it to have to compete too much with anything else on the page. And we're just using a little bit of gesso today just to give it a kind of a little bit of a ghosty look. Very soft. Now I'm going to use the art glitter glue, which again doesn't have glitter in it. And I'm going to use some little foam tabs. These will give you a little bit of height on, you know, anything you're trying to give a 3D effect to. These are from Recollections, which I believe is the Michaels in-house brand. And I'm just putting some of those on there because I want the focal to kind of be raised a little bit. Also, it's going to make it much easier for me to glue down all these other pieces in exactly the place I want them to be. since the focal is already there. So I'm using the specialized metal tip on the glue so that only a little bit of glue comes out, and then I'm going to stick them behind. Yeah, and I'm using that napkin so that I don't get glue all over my hands. I've already got glue all over my hands. I don't get more glue all over my hands. But yes, just very meticulously covering it with glue. And yeah. And now the dark blue or the indigo pieces, those are easy. Just put a little piece onto the half circle there in the middle and just slide it under and just give it a bit of a mashing with your hand. And yeah, you've got a very sassy focal point. I'm also adding a couple more of these little foam pieces just to help the whole disc kind of be even and not sag. And I also couldn't get the foam back in the box. So anyway. So there's one more little oddball die cut. Now these die cuts come from Temu, which I know, issues with Temu. I absolutely get it. I didn't recognize these from any particular artists. So I'm really hoping they're not knockoffs. They might be. If they are, I apologize to whoever created them. But yeah, they are from Temu if you're looking for them. They cut out okay, not amazing. But you know. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of yellow Dilutions paint. I like this paint because it's very transparent, but it adds this super pop of color and really helps things stand out. I kind of just wanted to break up a little bit of this orange as well and just really kind of electrify the page, so to speak. All right, and then it's like, it's not done yet. One more thing. We're going to go in now with a little bit of the Dina Wakley paint, and I'm going to do some splatters. My finger wasn't really working, so we're going to use the scissors instead. It's just a better tool, I guess. I'm also going to go in and darken up the corners so that I kind of have a very light, very organic looking frame for this piece, and just gently going around. Also adding in some lines and some of the blue spaces here on the page just to help the eye move around the page and, you know, kind of add in a little blue here and there. Just details, just zhuzhing, as our pal Tim Gunn would say. Just a little bit here and there, helping to kind of give some more movement, a sense of flow to this picture. It's just got a lot of an activeness to it. Is that a word? Activeness? Activity? Anyway, here we go. This is it. I really appreciate y'all watching today. And if you like it, let me know in the comments. And please subscribe. Thanks, y'all. I'll see you next time.